You got the whole setup.
Yeah, so if you want to, you can wear headphones and then you just sort of
Just whatever you want me to do.
get a gauge on your volume. If you want to, there's a arepa there as well. Refreshment.
Oh god, yeah, there's loud.
Switch your brain on apparently.
Yeah. What are we running? Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are cool, hey?
Yeah, when I was still in Tokoroa, what's her name? I can't remember her name.
I thought they were blackcurrant though, which this is a new flavour.
Yeah, that's one of the new flavours. Yeah.
Oh yeah, wow.
Yes, if you go get in.
How close do I need to be?
Yeah, about there. Sounds good. I can't remember what her name is, but she was running a thing called the Marketing Club or something up in Auckland, and it was again for just trying to get disruptive marketing going. Like she ran all the original arepa campaigns, trying to get the name out there, and which I think did pretty well. But now she's moved to Australia. Yeah. Yeah,
that's cool. In my day job, I work at Farmlands, and we had a shareholder out near Leeston who supplied, I think, blackcurrants to them originally. Yeah. So that's how I heard of it, sort of in the really early days. But yeah, it's neat.
Yeah. So did you studied at Canterbury, right?
Studied?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So I came down from the Wairarapa for uni. Yeah. Yeah, to the south, and studied at Canterbury, and then after uni met my husband, and he's from Methven, so ended up living in the south.
Nice. How'd you meet?
Good question. Just through mutual friends. Yeah. But yeah, we sort of met a few years before we actually got together, and then did a bit of travel and stuff. You know, in your 20s, it's a lot of fun. You can just go and do stuff. So we did heaps of travel. Went and looked at different farms around the world, and did 2 months across the states in a camper with a bed in the back, which is a pretty fast way to figure out if you're going to stay together.
Yeah.
So
I've talked to Kate Ivey from Dedicate, and that was the same. Sort of her and her then to be husband sort of met up once I think she was still at uni internet, and then they went travelling together, and as she said, learned pretty quickly that nearly breaks but didn't, and so now they're still married with kids. It was an amazing trip though. We started in San Fran, finished in New York, and we went all the way across, and it was just a lot of people go to the big cities but people don't go to the small towns, and that's like the American people. Was just, do you have a favourite there from that trip?
Nashville,
yeah.
Country Girl at Heart.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, we got to Nashville for the CMAs, and that was just, I'd say it's like Disneyland for adults, for country people.
So do you like country music too?
Yeah, quite into country music, although like we were saying earlier, Spotify's a bit skewed at the moment with the Wiggles and all that sort of stuff.
So you're not filled with Ella Langley on your playlist then?
No, and to be honest, like I don't get a lot of time to listen to my own music at the moment, and I just enjoy silence. Yeah. Or podcasts.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But have always loved country music, and particularly stuff that's been around for quite a while. Dixie Chicks.
Yeah.
The Chicks as
they're now
called. Yeah.
So did you grow up on a farm?
Yeah, so we grew up in coastal Wairarapa.
Yeah.
Sort of 45 minutes out to the coast from Masterton. I was fifth generation there on the sheep and beef farm in the hills.
Are they still there?
No, so we I have two sisters, and our succession plan was actually to sell, which made sense for us because none of us were going to go farming in the hill country. But so it's a really special place out there out near Castle Point Beach, and I went to school in Masterton as all kids who lived where we lived went to boarding school. And absolutely loved that. Yeah, St Matthews and Rathkeel. Okay, yeah. So St Matthews and Rathkeel, and then you joined together in 6th and 7th form.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I loved that. I've always been a people person, social, and I loved being in the boarding house, and
Nice. Yeah, my dad's cousins, they're at Riversdale Beach, and they're the same. They're sort of now leasing the property and doing a bit of forestry and stuff, but it's like, man, I talked to Peter, and it was like, what are you going to do? And he's like, still running a little bit of cattle, and bummer.
It's a cool part of the country, and I think a lot of people go up State Highway 1, so they go up the other coast from Wellington and miss the lower east coast. And we spent all of our childhoods and definitely my parents have a house at Castle Point Beach, which is a really special place to us. We got engaged there, we got married there on the beach, and we get to go there every year a number of times. And Castle Point on a good day. Yeah. Every other day it's windy.
Yeah, at Christmas we drove down through the Wairarapa to get to Wellington. Got a mate that lives in Carterton, and my good friend from uni, he got married in Martinborough, and it's like, it's a pretty cool part of the world. I quite like it, the sort of rolling hills and things like that.
Yeah, and the people are actually really similar to mid-Canterbury. Like there's we find a lot of Wairarapa people come down here. And Ashburton and Masterton are relatively similar, being rural service towns. So it's kind of a natural South Island fit. Yeah,
old as the days too. The Deans, they went up to Wairarapa and then they used to come back to Esk Valley and stuff like that. So there's a bit of connection between Wairarapa and Canterbury.
Yeah, we love it when the Wairarapa bush come down and play the Canterbury team.
Oh yeah. What do you do then? Is it a bit of a feud in the household? Is it?
Well, look, it's like when the Hurricanes and the Crusaders play, right? I try to poke the bear a bit and encourage the kids that they should be cheering for the yellow team, but that usually doesn't go down too well.
You were on Kilmore Street going up Fitzgerald Ave on Friday night, and I was thinking, man, it'd be good to have a cowbell here, just to rack it up. And when we parked our car, some Chiefs fans went by, and my daughter was born in Hamilton, so and her granddad's from Pukekohe, so it was very much a carry the Chiefs scenario. But of course, the Crusaders did it in the last little bit, so that's that. But the Hurricanes this weekend, you get to stir the pot.
I think so. Yeah, my husband said, "Should we go?" And I was like, I think that would actually be. It should be a hoot.
Have you been to the stadium yet?
No, haven't. My husband went last weekend, and just loved it. He was raving about it. Yeah, he said it's set up really well. You can go out and get your drinks or your food and still see the game. And did you go?
No, my brother was at the opening weekend, and he had a good spot where that was the scenario, like straight through into the Congal, straight out to their seats type stuff. And I think they might have even been on some of those seats that had the fridge beside the chairs, which is unreal.
Dangerous.
Yeah, dangerous. No, so you couldn't get the kids babysat for $6.60 or anything like that.
Oh, look, I'd love to. We've just got a lot going on at the moment. Yeah. A lot going on, so we're really in a stage of our lives at the moment that we just have to pick and choose the things that we're doing, but would love to.
Nice. Yeah. And so you're living on a farm as well, or?
Yeah, so we've got 80 acres out at Staveley, so just sort of between Staveley and Alford Forest, under the foothills there, and then my husband's family farm just up the road, under the ski field. And we both work off farm, and then lease part of our property to our best mate, who's dairy farmer next door, which is awesome. It works really well for us, and when we came down to it and we're talking about what did we want for our future, the number one thing was that we wanted our kids to grow up on a farm like we got to. And as we know, with farm ownership these days, and particularly in Canterbury, that land's not cheap, and actually this is kind of satisfied our why, but still allowed us to have careers off farm as well. So it's actually a really good balance with that. We can still go play in the river and build tree huts and do the farming stuff, and they can learn a lot about caring for animals and growing things.
So on your place, how involved is the farming, or is it all with the neighbour?
Yeah, so we've got a little bit of that. We keep a few paddocks for ourselves. And then he leases the bulk of it. Which is good. So we just we're both pretty passionate about farming and both work in the sector for our day jobs. So it's really good to sort of have
what's he involved with?
So seed production. So he has been in agronomy most of his career in seed production, and myself at farmlands. So I've been at farmlands for 15 years.
Someone
said to me the other day, it's kind of like that adult child that never left home.
Never left home?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, I had a quick peek on your LinkedIn, and it was pretty cool to see the sort of roles that they put you through. And I think one of your titles was like return from maternity work, and then it was like all these projects and stuff. I was like, that's pretty awesome.
They have been amazing, and that is exactly why I'm still there 15 years later, because, you know, even if you live in a big city, that return to work is really hard, and it's even more complicated when you live rurally. And yeah, definitely feel like farmlands are nailing it in terms of how they help young females in the rural industry return to work.
Are they still run from Hawke's Bay, or where's it run?
Based out of Christchurch.
Out of Christchurch,
yeah,
right.
So for years I drove to Christchurch every day.
Yeah.
In a number of different roles, and then actually for us as rural people, COVID had some really great outcomes, which was the social acceptance of being remote and you know, normal to be on Teams meetings, and you know, I'm back at work 20 hours a week, so it's been really flexible. And you know, even like today I had a sick child and he appeared on a Teams meeting a number of times. So just the modern workplace has changed so much, which for rural people is it's a real game changer. Yeah.
And then so the main reason we're here, Hemprino, what sort of split are you doing there?
Oh God.
That's your other hobby, eh? That takes up all your time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it is, and I absolutely love it. So the split is endless.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you what we do from an hours standpoint. So the business is owned by ourselves and Paul and Prue Ensor from up Rikai Gorge. So they're farmers up at Glenarn Station up the top. And we, until just recently, ran the business with no employees, did it all ourselves.
Yeah.
And particularly last winter, as our business grew, we were like, let's just go hard and push this as far as we can without having employees. And it got to Christmas and we were both shattered. So we have now got an awesome girl called Alette, who's another Methven local, who works for us. Yeah. And, you know, I was talking before about being able to access work remotely. Like for her, to not have to drive to Christchurch to work in a role is just awesome. And she has been a fantastic addition to our team. So she packs all the orders, which has been a really nice break. And she does a heap of brand and marketing work for us as well. So
logistics-wise, I went and watched that Country Calendar.
Yeah.
And the manufacturing was done in Wellington, is that right?
Our yarn is spun in Wellington and knitted in Tauranga.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
And then comes to you in Methven.
In Methven, and we've got a wee warehouse in Methven. We started literally, like when we filmed Country Calendar, we were in our spare room at our house.
Yeah.
And like there's these photos, gosh, it's funny, of us in our lounge the morning after Country Calendar, and it's just chaos, packing orders, because like we couldn't even fit in the boxes in the spare bedroom. And then from there we went to someone's garage. Yeah. And then we outgrew that pretty quickly, and yeah, now we've got a warehouse, a shed, sort of a big. We're sort of tried to stick to one bay of the big shed at the moment, but we'll probably expand. We're right at that point of needing to expand.
So like Country Calendar for these wool products is kind of like the big test, like Sustainagirl. I've heard her talk about the day after Country Calendar. Honest Wolf as well, day after Country Calendar. Like,
yeah,
what's that like?
It was actually crazy, and actually I spoke to Soph at Honest Wolf before we went on Country Calendar. We rang her and we said, like, what should we expect? Like, give us a bit of an idea. But I just don't think anything could prepare us for it, because we've got to remember, like, at that point we were in our spare bedroom. And we knew we had a great product, and we had already had really good repeat customers, like people going, I love this product, but still you just have a little bit of this sort of self-doubt of like, we're sort of putting ourselves out there, what if in a year's time the business is no longer here, like, was that going to be embarrassing, or how might that feel? But yeah, Country Calendar is, you know, we grew up watching Country Calendar, amazing experience, and they were there for about 4 days on farm, and then Paul and the crew went up to Wellington as well to go to Wool Yarns. But just to be able to be behind the scenes and see how they work and how they bring a story to life is amazing. And Paul and Prue are not very showy people. They took a lot of encouragement from me to say.
So did you set that up?
Well, Country Calendar had called them a number of times over the years.
Yeah.
And I had said to Paul, because I sort of look after the sales and marketing, and I said to him, next time they call, the answer's yes.
Yeah.
And he said, we've got to convince Prue.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will convince Prue. And yeah, sure enough, he said, right, let's do it. And we've kind of had that mentality through the business since, is if someone asks you to do something, do it.
Absolutely.
Put yourself out there, be brave. Yeah.
So were you part of that R&D going to Italy and things? And
No, so if we wind back a little bit, so Paul, myself and another lady called Siobhan O'Malley met on the Kellogg Rural Leadership Program at Lincoln in 2018. And following Kellogg, we'd been talking a lot about hemp and how hemp was really starting to take off in the States. So hemp is a fibre, particularly. And Siobhan, who has an incredible entrepreneurial mind, so she started Meet the Need as well with Wayne Langford. She called Paul one day and said, you're the only merino grower I know. What do you think about this concept of if we brought hemp and merino together and just eradicated any synthetics from being blended from clothing? Because why are we blending a synthetic component with a beautiful natural fibre? So anyway, so they started that process and went through sort of the R&D phase, and probably about a year later, after they'd been overseas, I had a 6-week-old baby or something, 9-week-old little baby, and was walking the street in Methven, as you do, trying to get them to go to sleep, and I saw Paul. Just asked him how the business was going and stuff, and that's when I ended up buying into the business and joining them. They had, it's really complex bringing together hemp and merino, and which is why no one's doing it, and they felt like they had got close enough to have a first product, but then they had this big mountain to climb around how do we bring, create a brand and bring a product to market, which I was like, cool, well, I've got a bit of time because I've got a year off work. I mean, obviously I'm really busy with a baby, but and I knew for me as well, going from a fast-paced career, having something to chip away on in the background was going to be really good for me mentally, just to keep the brain going. Ended up buying into the business and helped them bring the product to market, and we launched with one jersey in one colour, literally a charcoal crew neck as our...
It's a solid jumper.
It is, and it went really well, and then that allowed us to expand, and now we've got heaps.
So on the technical side, Paul said that they had moved up on micron in the sheep. Was that in parallel or caused by? And Paul is the technical expert, but I'll tell you what I know. What you've done it,
So one of the real challenges with blending hemp and merino, and why it's not done very often, is because we struggle to get a micron of merino and hemp that will pair well. And also with hemp fibre, consistency in the length of the fibre. That's a real challenge, and so it took a lot of, I guess you call them recipes, of putting together different hemp and merino to find one that created a really great yarn. So the product that we launched with is quite different to the product that we have now, and no doubt as we progress in the future as well, because we're learning so much more about yarn technology and about that recipe. And at that time, we also had this real nervous thing of no one else is doing this. We've got to go really fast because we don't have the big investors and stuff behind us, so we have to utilise first mover advantage.
And do do you patent or copyright, or what do you do?
What you could patent, but you could only patent a mix. And so we're 80-20, so 80% merino, 20% hemp. Someone could literally do 79.9, 20.1. So it's not worth it. Obviously, we trademark our brands and stuff like that in different markets around the world. But yeah, we just had to go hard and go fast, and this it's going pretty well so far. Yeah. We're learning a lot, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. On the brand side, like I've just finished reading River Rules My Life, and then watching the Country Calendar and seeing Elder just over there, seeing Manuka Point, and now I'm reading one of Peter Newton's books, and he's all around all the rivers in North Canterbury as well. And so from that side of things, that branding of the high country sheep station in the mountains, especially on a nice clear day unlike today, it just sort of sells itself. Then linking it to that H and the wool and the colours and things. You got similar branding to me actually, blue and gold. Did you have some graphic experience, or you engage with some people like that? Yeah.
And actually we're just going through a rebrand, so
cool.
We're going to look a little bit different. Alette, our girl that's joined us, is doing some work on that at the moment. It's really cool. And that is focused on trying to tell that story even stronger around the connection to the high country and to the farm, because really that's who we are. Like we want to stand out as that item or those items in your wardrobe that you have a real connection to, because you know where they've come from, and you've sort of followed that journey of the wool from the sheep's back to your own. But the high country, and particularly the Upper Akai Gorge, is a really special place. Yeah, it's pretty magical. I said to Paul recently, I said, when you're up on the hill every day, do you become a little bit like numb to it because you've lived your whole life there? And he said, no, I still really appreciate it, which is really cool. I
think one of the chapters was when planes started to get up there, and I'm pretty sure Glenarn goes and picks them up and takes them back for lunch, and then they fly back to Algeciras for the afternoon. I was like, that's really cool, because
it's a great book though, isn't it?
Up until then she's just basically stuck there most of the time.
Imagine that, newly married, going across the river with your piano on the horseback.
And then not long after the bloody earthquake ruins everything. All your wedding presents, your piano, everything. Busted.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of books. There's she continues to write them, and the next books are about the success of her first book and how she sort of managed that. But it's
if anyone's got a spare
cool
50 million that's for sale at the moment.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that new homestead is just something incredible.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's pretty cool part of the country up there.
Yeah. You're talking about the scale of it, and some of the machinery that they were using in Wellington seems pretty old. Is all these sort of wool garments and wool sort of niche products, is that driving these manufacturers to reinvest again?
Absolutely. And it's a really exciting time as farmers as well to see, for a long time as farmers, we have sort of been price takers. We've sent our wool or our meat off to market, and we've taken the price and we've continued on. And there are so many farmers around New Zealand now going, hey, actually we need to do this differently. Our costs are going up. We can utilise technology. We're not as remote as we once were because of technology. And what that's done for the wool industry, which, if we talk about wool manufacturing, was, a lot of them had disappeared. There aren't that many aren't that many left in New Zealand, and actually they're starting to come back, which is cool. Like there's a new one in Christchurch,
nice. which
is really neat. And, what you're seeing is farmers go, we know we've got great raw materials, let's turn it into something meaningful that people want to have in their house or in their wardrobe, whatever it be. And actually within the community, what we've found is each of the brands, even those of us that are maybe considered competition, everyone's cheering each other on. Like, it's a really cool environment, and we go to things like field days or Wanaka Show, and we're sort of in the similar area, and it's really nice. It's really nice because we all have the same goal, as we're passionate about wool, and we just want to see people wearing more wool and less synthetics.
Your time with Farmlands being cooperative, how does that feel when you go back to something like these individual brands? Do you have a bit of that ethos passing on? Obviously, in dairy, if you're with Fond Dairy, you're running cooperative too. Alliance Group was sort of.
I've always been passionate about the cooperative model. That's a big part about why I've spent 15 years at Farmlands, and my grandfather was one of the earlier shareholders of Farmlands when it came from the Hawke's Bay into the Wairarapa. And I remember going into Farmlands as a kid, and I was joking with someone recently, as I remember the debate of I wanted the big tin of Milo, and you went to Farmlands for the big tin of Milo, right? Or as the youngest child, I always wanted my own pair of gumboots because I always got the hand-me-downs.
Right. Yeah.
So I have all this sort of lifelong connection to the cooperative model, and I think what I've learned in my time in Farmlands is finding that real balance between the sort of cooperative corporate. We can do stuff that it has to make financial sense. We have to still be here, right, in the future, and so that's been really cool. And then we take a lot of the learnings, a lot of the stuff from my experience around probably more structure than anything else, and put that into practice in your own business, and you've got skin in the game, and there's no one, you set your own deadlines, you set your own sales targets, you set all of that stuff. Has been really cool, but also I think it goes back the other way, is the amount that I've learned running my own business actually makes me better at my job at Farmlands as well, because I have real life experience. I annoy the marketing team like crazy because I know a little bit about too much stuff.
High up on their confidence, eh?
I'm just throwing out acronyms and not like, what do you know about it?
On there, excuse me, how did you sort of start off on the putting it social media wise?
Oh my god. And look, I tell you what, we didn't know that when you start a business these days, you have to be in front of the camera. Like, you're not just a business owner, you're a content creator. And that has been really hard for us. And, we've been working with a business advisor, and they keep saying, you need to get in front of the camera. And I started off doing it without my face, just filming what we're doing.
Stuff, voice
Not
over
me, because I was so horrified of what are people going to say, and when it's yourself, you're worried about your voice or how you look or whatever. And so we just got to a point that we were like, just suck it up and get on with it. And like, Paul has been amazing.
I was about to say, you even got Paul, signing the paddock.
That was awesome. It's his biggest fear, is that a neighbour will drive past and he's standing there with a tripod.
Fair enough.
We need to stitch him up one day and ring the neighbour and say, go check out Paul. No, he's doing an amazing job, and he is really important to telling that story. Like, I can do stuff in the warehouse or whatever, but like, he's the one that grows the wool. It's his property, it's his story. So he's taken some encouragement, and then now it's just into it. And if we post through socials anything around Paul on the farm, it will perform 5 times better than anything else.
Amazing. Well, NZ Farming highlights just how interested the run-of-the-mill person is in what's going on out there. Like, that's one of my first little things that pops up as NZ Farming, and see what everyone's doing around the country.
and it's actually really interesting, because the urban people in New Zealand are just as interested as rural people. Like, one of the things we were blown away with after Country Calendar was, like, we had close to 1,000 emails after Country Calendar, and we were committed. We were like, we're going to respond to every person that reaches out, and we had everything from my grandfather bought a dog from the Rakaia Gorge in the 1970s. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
But just the kindness of people who just wanted to reach out and say, we love what you're doing, or, you know, what an amazing place that Paul and Prue live. Like, yeah, there was a lot of kindness, and that doesn't happen a heap on the internet these days. Yeah. So that was really cool. And the flow-on effect from that, everywhere we go, if we go to events and stuff, people are like, hey, I saw you guys on Country Calendar. Yeah, I really liked this part. So it's pretty powerful, and it's got a hell of a heritage behind it.
The business coach, how did that come about?
We actually originally did some work with the Chamber of Commerce. So we've been really lucky that we've had a number of businesses support us, or organisations support us along the way. So AgMart, we're one of them that have been awesome. Ngāi Tahu have also been exceptional, and then New Zealand Trade and Enterprise, and then also the Canterbury Chamber of Commerce. So all of a number of those have sort of free resources or coaching. And as we've progressed, we've sort of changed a little bit. And with Paul's experience in the wool sector, he's got some pretty good connections of people that keep asking how we can help. Nice. So that's been really cool along the way, that we have, like, people are so generous with their time, and we find, like, the biggest thing standing between you and having a really great conversation with someone is your own pride about asking, because no one ever says no. You say, hey, I would love to tell you a bit about my business, and I'd love your honest feedback of what you think, or what you think we should do, or how we should tackle this roadblock or whatever. People just want to share. So that's where we're at, and we're at the stage now where it's about, we want someone to push us really hard, and to hold us accountable, because when you've got farms and jobs and kids and stuff, you can lose track pretty quickly. Got to keep
it delivering, Yeah. So were they the push to enter in some of these awards, like, emerging businesses, emerging leadership? We're at the ANZ Awards for Ashburton, and you guys featured prominently there. To be honest, sort of. We talk a lot with business advisors, or just people that we talk to around all sorts of stuff around business strategy. But the biggest thing for us is in these awards is sitting down and going through the application process that gets you to look really closely at your business, and to think about where you've come from, where you're at, and where you want to go. And actually, as you know, as I said before, when we're trying to juggle a number of things in our lives, though, that process is a really, it forces us to sit down and you know, go through that, which is awesome. Which, you know, that's why people should enter these awards, because it's, you know, it's not actually about getting an award on the stage at the end. It's actually about what you've learned about yourself and your business through the process. And like, I think, we're only a year in, and to look back at how we thought about things a year ago, it's like, how are we living up to that? You know, are we still living from the values that we've instilled? You know, how's it looking going forward? Like you say, where are we headed to?
Just realign, eh?
Yeah, and then being there on the night, looking at all the other categories that we should have probably put our name in for, going, how would we apply to that? And, you know, how do our values and how do our business plan and you know, what our mission, how does that sort of fit in with some of these categories? You know, and it's also bloody inspiring to see all these amazing people within your area, and you go, shit, is
Canterbury,
I'd say,
it's, and like, that's the thing, it's really cool to see what people are doing in our region, that in some of it that you're not, you know, seeing frequently, but yeah, I definitely think that process is about reflecting and learning. We've always been really big on that we want to be remembered as a business as we grow, we take others with us. We always like backing the underdog. And I talked before about the wool industry being one that we all cheer each other on, like that sings right to our values as a business. Is the world's big enough for all of us, so let's all go together and go hard.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that need clothed and fed, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You brought up the sort of succession story there. I've just started listening to, I think they're called Steph and Josh, the Australian couple.
Oh yeah, me too. Yeah, they're great.
Hard Ground. Their latest episode came on when I dropped my wife off at home. Like, is that something that Farmlands gets involved with, or like
Not directly.
Not directly.
Our role is to help farmers drive the value of the property of the profitability of their businesses, and how we do that is through helping them grow better crops, grow better animals, etc. But we do, from time to time partner with other businesses that will hold workshops and stuff on that. I think succession is really challenging in New Zealand, and becoming more so as land values continue to rise. It's a very emotional thing. And I think, there's a number of businesses now out there that help families go through that process and actually bring someone in to sit around the table to get that communication flowing and understand what options might be out there. Like, there's a lot of great, coming from the Wairarapa, I know that there's sort of equity partnerships and stuff going on. And the dairy industry has been quite well set up for, progressing through. For a while, sheep and beef hasn't been, particularly sheep and beef of scale. So,
do you think some of these business brands that are sort of coming out or have relationships with specific properties, that's helping to sort of separate the two, the land and the business?
Yeah, I think everyone's situation is unique, and it's not until you find someone that you trust come in, and that can be impartial, whether that's your accountant or whether it's a succession consultant, that can help you step through that process. But yeah, every situation is different. It's dependent on how many people are involved, what the parents want to do later in life. We were just really lucky that we were, like, it was very clean cut for us. None of us wanted the farm to be sold, but also the alternative was leasing it, and then you're sort of kicking the can down the road, and what happens, with the idea that one of our children might want to, and then it's even more complicated because there's 3 families with the kids.
Yeah.
So, it's that real balance between when you've got a really strong connection to heritage and to, generations of family working hard on that land, but then actually for us it was really clear that what made sense was actually to give someone else a chance to build their history on the farm.
Yeah, and like you say, generations of putting it in and constructing stuff. Even Paul saying about their property now so subdivided, and the musters sort of every couple of days and things, compared to that Peter Noonan book where it's kind of like one big chase them all around the whole hillside.
Well, we can't keep farming like our great grandparents did, can we?
No.
But yeah, and do you know what makes that, our family's succession and selling the farm story feel really comfortable to me is, so our farm was called Rewa Station, and that is now owned by some people that are really passionate about wool, and they now have a wool mill on the farm.
Oh wow, yeah.
So I was just there at Christmas and went and saw Patricia and on the farm, and she showed me through the wool mill, and like, it's just really cool.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So yeah, that to me is kind of gives you this piece of that the farm is not in family ownership anymore, but it will always be a special place for our family, but also it's so aligned to the things that I'm really passionate about.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it's really neat. Really neat.
And then family-wise, like, did you say one's 5 now?
5 and almost 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 boys.
that's a brand new adventure for you as well.
Holy moly. I tell you what, absolutely love it. There's not many times in your adult life that you sort of have to learn everything from scratch. I remember
there you go, starting a business and running a family.
It's so much fun though. Gosh, we love it. And the kids have always been our core focus. Everything we do is around, how do we help, how do we raise happy, healthy, kind boys. So we're really starting to get into it now. They're just, the 2-year-old is a bigger boy and he's starting to get into the rough and tumble. So, we are, it's all go at our house.
Yeah. You've done school now, or?
Yep. So Fred started school this term. So he goes on the school bus. Which for city people are like, you put your 5-year-old on a school bus. I'm like, it's just what everyone does. Like, the driver's name's Dick. He picks him up every day and off he goes with his little yellow vest on. And he loves it. It's his favourite part of his day.
Oh, exciting.
Goes on the school bus with Dick and then we pick him up again at the end of the day. And I mean, the bus only goes one place. It goes to school.
Yeah, it goes to school.
It's not like it, he has to walk anywhere. But school has been... it's been really cool for him. It's and also he does a couple of other things which are really neat. Keys, so like scouts. So, and he's loving that because they learn sort of, they've just done one around hiking, and so we did a night hike the other night with head torches on around Methven and through the bush and stuff, and they've been learning about compasses and caving. So it's just really a really cool thing because we're not really into devices and stuff. We try to encourage our kids to spend as much time outside as possible and be kids and climb trees and all that stuff that we loved about our childhood. But so, and then the other thing is rugby, and Methven's got a really strong rugby club, and my husband's family have been a big part of that club for generations. So Fred's playing rugby this year, if you can call it that. 5-year-old's playing ripper. I think there's more parents on the field than kids at some point. But no, it's great, and it's just about being part of the club. It's going to have the hot chippies afterwards, and
like you were talking about the outdoors there. I think it's pretty good being half an hour from Mount Somers there. Being in Staveley even closer. And we are quite involved in the Staveley ice rink, and so that's sort of going to be our big thing this winter, is spending time down at the ice rink, because it's the ice skating's awesome, but also it's about the social part around the fire and but showing them about community. It's the key thing. Hey, so what do you do in your spare time, and why community is important as well, especially rurally. That used to be one of my questions actually. What did you do on the weekend? For that very reason, like when you're not doing your job or your day job, what takes your passion?
Playing with my kids.
I
love that. I love going doing stuff with them. Weekends our weeks sort of just become all days, because we have obviously a different number of different things going on, but between Hemprino and just recently started with the Staveley ice rink, takes a bit of time, but actually I found that's my real passion. And I was saying to my husband the other day, some people go on the PTA or the school board or whatever, and this has allowed me to sort of do my community contribution, but in an area that I can actually add value.
Did you have any connection with skating?
My husband's great grandfather was one of the original people that helped set up the Staveley ice rink.
Awesome.
So no, I don't skate.
You don't skate?
When we're doing content creation coming up, I will hand someone else the gimbal. But I can push myself around on a chair, maybe? No. It's not a pretty sight. There's no triple axles going on, that's for sure. But that's what the Staveley ice rink is about. It's about getting out and having fun and a laugh and creating memories, and it's in the bush. That's
we
the
went
best
there
part, right?
last year when Nicole's friends were down from Hawke's Bay, and drove Thompson's Track, and I was just like,
where are we?
It was like, man, this road is long. And there was a bit of that going on, pushing the chairs around, but no, I think everyone managed to let them go, get off the wall and glide around, and like you say, have a bit of fun and
have a hot chockey and warm up with a fire.
Yeah, and then have a look around and look where you are and just go, crikey, this is pretty cool.
It's really special because it was, Staveley is very small, and the amount of money that the community have raised to make that happen and to, continue the heritage of that site is pretty exceptional. Raised over $1 million to be able to put in the refrigeration to make it, 3 months. We're going to be skating this year.
Yeah.
And it really does, looking on our social media for Staveley Ice Rink over the last week, like people from Christchurch, people from Auckland, obviously tourists, like it really brings people to the area, because you can, there are a number of other ice rinks in New Zealand, but that, most of them are sort of your commercialised perfect ice, whereas we're more like, hey, there's a secret ice rink in the bush, come over. Everyone's having a great time and giving it a go, and that's the best part. You start skating next to someone that's a grandparent's age, and then there's a 5-year-old skating next to you better than you can, so
that's right.
I
was just thinking there with the merino, is it technical material or fashion material?
Good question. So often merino is blended with a synthetic, and that is often done to give it shape and drape. And so what we wanted to do was replace the synthetic component with something else natural. And hemp is known for being the strongest fibre on the planet, and really environmental. It actually cleanses the soil that it grows in. So we're going to be seeing a lot more of hemp clothing, skincare, food around in the next few years. Hemp has had a little bit of a reputation to fix, which is, hemp was really, really popular and then went out of fashion a little bit because it has a cousin, let's call it a cousin that didn't have a very good reputation. So as people start to understand that actually hemp is different to marijuana, we're finding that education around what an awesome fibre and plant it is. And we're starting to see, quite a lot of hemp growing here on the Canterbury Plains, and it's doing a lot for, soil health and
that's because it's deep rooting, right? Is that what it does? No?
Good question. That would be a really good question for Paul. But it's we can probably look through some information on. I
did look it up when we arranged this a couple months ago, but I've forgotten already.
My husband's the agronomist, not me.
And also I've had Connor Moynihan on here as well.
He's great, isn't he?
He'd be able to tell us.
I follow him on social media as well. But so sorry, to answer your question, so where we sit as a brand, so obviously we have got a really unique blend, and there's no one else in the world that does the ZQ Merino. And
what's the ZQ mean?
So ZQ is part of what was the New Zealand Merino company, now called Zenterra. They've just recently rebranded. So the ZQ is a certification of all the good stuff, like animal welfare, soil health, that you're doing all of the right things.
And there was Australasian? No, or just New Zealand?
They do have some in Australia, but the certification essentially says, here's the stamp, you're doing great stuff. This has been grown in a way that's aligned with the conscious consumer's values. There is one other brand in Italy but they're totally different because they don't blend the merino and hemp. They have one ply of merino, one ply of hemp, and then they twist it. So we're a really unique product, and the only ZQ Merino hemp brand in the world, which is pretty cool, pretty mind-blowing.
And that's giving you durability, right?
Yeah, it is. And so to answer your question around technical versus fashion, so we're very big on timeless styles. We're not, at the end of the day, we're a couple of farmers. And we do have some really good, design support, but mostly it's us that's like, hey, we want to do a V-neck, here's one we like, can we change this and that, whatever. And then the awesome team up at Beverley Productions and Tauranga help us figure it out, and usually it takes sort of anywhere between 3 and 5 iterations until we're happy with it, and then we wear it and test it, and
and they take care of like sizing and shape.
Yeah, they do all that stuff. It's actually really cool, right? Because it's not your granny knitting with her knitting needles in the corner. It's all we use a whole garment machine, so it actually comes out of the machine as a jersey, as a sweater. So you can actually go on our socials and look at that. Paul went up recently to catch up with the team up there, and watch our jerseys coming out of these whole garment machines as our jerseys, and then some really cool people up there who sort of do the finishing touches, put labels on and stuff like that. And isn't that so cool? We can do that in New Zealand. And
here to Tauranga is not that far. It feels far to us, but it's not that far.
No, not on the scale of the world. I was talking to a lady the other day. She was in Vancouver, and she's got a number of our jerseys, and she just ordered another one, and she was like, gosh, they arrived so fast. And then she was sending me photos of her fishing in her jersey, and she was so proud. She had like a big fish and showed me a fish, and we love that stuff.
Because you launched there, is that right?
Yeah, so we just soft launched into Canada over our summer, their winter. Right. Yeah, just to have a play, see what we could learn, and we learned a lot. And
as e-commerce, basically.
Yeah. So just online. And we definitely learned a lot. I mean, the world's an interesting place at the moment anyway. From a freight standpoint, it costs us about $35 to send a A4 package up to Vancouver, up to Canada. But people of Canada have a really strong connection to New Zealand, whether they've been here or know someone here or whatever. And so they love the story. They love being able, Paul out on the hill, talking about what he's doing that day. Like, they're really passionate about that. And we had to learn a lot around words. Like, I think our first ads I launched talked about wardrobe, and they were all like laughing at me, saying we call it a closet. And a lot of the Canadians are hilarious. They wind me up a lot about my accent. On videos and stuff. But so that's been really cool. And then we've been doing quite a lot out of Australia so far this year. We're into Australia, which is it's like Kiwis.
And so you guys getting emails and DMs and things,
Yeah.
How does that get managed?
That's mostly me, and actually Elite helps now. But one of our core values was that we're here to bring joy, and so and also that's just part of our personality, so it makes it quite easy. But so we are really conversational. So you end up in these, like, Paul laughs because his phone will be pinging. You can see me talking to someone on the website chat, and we're down a rabbit hole about his wife's cousin and her first woolen jersey she ever had. But actually, that's what people miss about businesses, and family businesses have the ability to go out and just take 5 and be a part of someone's day, and help them to connect to the world around them.
No, awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's a cool story, and like I can't remember it sort of first showed up in my algorithm, but then it's sort of been there, and then like I said, we're at the Business Awards, and I was already seeing it a bit more, and then it must be from living here or something. And then at the Business Awards, like, there it goes again. They're like, oh. And then, like I said, now I've read those books and see the country calendar, and you're like, oh, more and more connection. So it's great storytelling and great, really inspirational way that you connect with your audience, which is what we all hope to do out there as businesses.
Thank you. I remember someone saying to me early on, if you look back and cringe, that means you've made progress. And we definitely look back and cringe. So there's some stuff that we see that we did in those first few years, particularly from a marketing standpoint before we got to really understand our customer, that we look back and go, wow. So, we're really excited about the future, and we hope that one day we look back at 2026 and it makes us cringe because we've gone
even better.
Yeah.
So where are people finding you guys?
So our website is www.hemprino, hemprino.co.nz, or on social media, we're NZ Hemprino.
Are you stocked anywhere?
Oh yeah, so we are very limited. So just locally, we are in Alpine Sports in Methven. They have been awesome supporters, because we get a lot of tourists that contact us and go, hey, I want to find one today. Which is great. So that's that locally, and then just a number of other stockists around New Zealand, which you can see on our website.
Cool.
Yeah,
nice.
But mostly online.
Yeah. So you're juggling a lot. What keeps you in flow, Harriet?
Oh, good question. What keeps me going? I think, people always say to me, how do you balance everything? And the answer is, I don't.
No.
I absolutely don't. And, the kids will always come first, and that's one of our core values of Hemprino, is that the kids across both families always come first. But finding sort of your groove and knowing your limits, and particularly for me, because I do a lot of my Hemprino work at nighttime, is knowing when to go to bed. And when you start to get a little bit tired, getting outside does a lot for your brain, and playing with your kids and interacting with the world around you.
Filling up your cup, very cool.
Yeah, and coffee.
Yeah, I like that too.
Probably 2 minute coffee.
Yeah, no, I've got a 12 o'clock cut off.
Oh, that's good. I'm 2, so
too?
maybe I should drop that back.
Yeah, if it's not affecting you. Above 12 does affect me, that's why I have that rule.
Otherwise you'll be up all night.
Yeah. Awesome, thanks very much, Harriet. I'll hit stop.